Hello, welcome to the Snap UK.
I was wondering if you're going to remember that you were introducing it.
Yeah, I had a brief moment.
There was a second there. It was like, did I say I was going to do this, or was someone else doing this?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Johnny, Fresh.
So did you want me to host then?
Jay.
God, take over now, man.
Well, so it's officially now. Well, by the time we get this out, there will be less than a week until the start of the season. It's exciting times. We're almost at the return of football, and our lives have meaning again.
Just over a week until we all get stressed about fantasy football
Exactly.
and realise it's just a game.
It's just a game, but it's a game I want to win, and if I lose, I will lose my fucking nut. But
Well, I'm still going for like the Joker effect. You know, like, I don't want to have fun. I just want to watch the world burn. And giving me the draft order where I have the two picks in a row early is mental.
yeah, we really should have changed that. We've got to give you like one or two, and especially because we've all made our picks, and then comes
The burning.
the question mark.
Then the hospital explodes.
But anyway, we'll get onto that later. Because yes, it is 1 week to go. And tonight, it's the A team, the leaders of the pack. It's basically
It's the 85 Bears.
yes,
Nice. I'll take that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Legendary, I'd say.
The 2000 Ravens defense.
exactly, which one of us is the murderer?
Talk about crimes later.
Yeah. So Griff and Gary are away. They're on holiday because it's August. Although you wouldn't know it by looking outside. But yeah. So it's just myself, Paul, and Jim this week. But we'll go straight into the news, and the big news is Trey Lance has been traded to Dallas. So back in 2021, the 49ers traded their first-round picks in 21, 22, 23, and a 2022 third-round pick to Miami for their third pick in the 2021 draft. They got Trey Lance. He has now moved to Dallas for a fourth-round pick next year. I think it's on. The consensus online is this is one of the worst busts since Ryan Leaf and all
It's
these.
worse than that. I mean, it should be worse than that. I
should
think you're
be.
right. And you look at the trade capital they gave up for a player, and ignore everything else, and you put that in its own little silo, 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick for one player who turns out to be a bust, and you get a fourth-round pick back. Put that into that silo, and they should be drawn over the coals for it. John Lynch should be sacked for it.
A worse GM would have lost their job for
exactly.
this.
The saving grace is that it actually doesn't matter because the 49ers are still good. They've been to 2 championship games, 3 championship games in 4 years, a Super Bowl, and they look set at quarterback with, Mr. Irrelevant from last year's draft.
They have got
which
lucky.
is just ridiculous.
Lynch has, he has credit in the bank as well, all this stuff. But yes, it's 3 first-round picks for, 800 yards.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
I don't see this as like a Ryan Leaf or Jamarcus Russell style pick.
No.
Because
the
it's injury.
organisation hasn't gone down the pan. And I in the document me and John were going through, I noted down just like some questions that I had. And it was like, the first one was like, did Trey Lance really get a fair crack of the whip?
No.
No, I mean he did.
No.
I mean, you thought it was going to pan out well. It was like a year sitting behind Jimmy Garoppolo, like that. That's good. Don't rush him because he didn't have that much experience. Then he comes in, he has a shit game against Chicago in terrible conditions. I don't care what you say, they were bad conditions.
The conditions were awful.
And then in the next game, he gets injured. And that is literally it. And the only thing I can think of is that during that time, I think it's back to the time where other players in the organisation, like George Kittle, were very, very pro Jimmy Garoppolo. I never felt that there was that level of support for Trey Lance. And I kind of feel Trey Lance maybe never got the locker room fully on side. My other thought is, I don't think Kyle Shanahan ever wanted him.
That is the question, isn't it?
Because before, when they moved up to that third place in the draft, there was so much buzz about it's going to be Mac Jones. Mac Jones is the type of quarterback that Shanahan wants, that he fits into that Shanahan system. And everyone was decrying. They could not have traded up to the third position for Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. I think because of the level of investment, trade, draft capital they put into it, he basically got out-shouted. And now I think this makes him much more powerful in the organisation and makes John Lynch almost a figurehead.
It really does.
I think there's a couple of things. I agree with you completely. I think there's a couple of other things at play. Shanahan has seemingly developed a quarterback-proof system. Now, I don't think Trey Lance would have got a fair crack of the whip because I think the fan base are far too harsh on Garoppolo. Cheers. I felt the fan base were far too harsh on Garoppolo for from when he joined to when he got injured. What a turnaround!
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at he won those first 5 games at the back end of, I can't remember what season it was. The reason they went up and tried to get a quarterback is because Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't stay fit. Yeah, it was ironic that the quarterback they got then got injured for the full season.
The other thing that they deserved a bit of luck with injuries. Yeah. I know it unravelled in the championship game, but nobody expected Mr. Irrelevant to do what he did and become what he's become.
No.
Exactly.
So that's also, sometimes you just need a bit of dumb luck.
Yep.
But as well, the difference between the two players is, Purdy has had a lot of time being a quarterback.
Yeah.
In different, I know college and everything, it's different. It's effectively a different game, but it's quarterback. Trey Lance had effectively a season.
And then quite a low level of college game as well.
Yeah, and I think because he didn't have the COVID year.
Yeah.
So of course he had, instead of having 2 seasons, he had 1. I feel for him because it's a massive punt on talent, and I know the draft is that anyway, but this was just such a wild punt. It was hard to. It was hard to see it ever coming off.
Yeah, I think the 49ers did right by him by trading him because I think they made that decision that Purdy was going to be their number 1, Darnold was going to be number 2. Do you really want to sit at number 3? Yeah. I mean, given our injury history at quarterback,
probably works.
Maybe it's not a bad shout, but still. So he's gone somewhere where he can sit behind Dak. I think that's right by him, and fair play to him for that. I think your point around he didn't have a lot of experience in the college game. Brock Purdy had 3 seasons as a starter. I always think back to Bill Parcells when he was drafting quarterbacks. It was always, have they got 3 seasons starting and are they winners?
Yeah.
And I think Purdy can tick both of those boxes. So, and we've seen it with other quarterbacks. And this is going to be the debate going into this season about Anthony Richardson, where he's played 13 games.
Yeah.
And that was always a debate in the draft. And if he fails in Indianapolis, it's going to be, he wasn't very experienced in the college game. He needed experience.
I mean, also, to be fair to Anthony Richardson, the complete lack of team around him.
Yes. I don't fancy his chances, to be honest. I think the only way he succeeds is by running the ball quite a lot.
Yes.
But luckily, it's like having a fridge that can run at 25 miles an hour.
I mean, that is it. I mean, you'd almost... I know it said it's a gamble, but if anywhere you could take a gamble on a quarterback with limited experience and, some good physical traits, it should be San Francisco.
Yeah.
But yeah, his body has let him down. Because even like the first year, he played like 5 games because Garoppolo was injured for a shock. He was still injured then. He had a hand injury, so he couldn't throw the ball like he wanted to. Like, it's just not worked. It's got to a point where the trade is the best thing for all involved.
Yeah.
San Francisco remove that as a story. It's good. I think as well, like Darnold, I think gets on with he lived with Kittle in his pool house.
He's a California guy as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I think he just.
I mean, also Darnold's never played with a good line.
Yeah.
He's never had a good team. Full
No.
stop.
Darnold could unseat Brock Purdy, and I wouldn't be too shocked.
I think this is Sam Darnold's as good a chance as he's ever going to get to resurrect his career.
Yeah.
Like, Purdy is coming off an injury. Let's not forget that. He's had a surgery. There is a case where maybe he did, and we say this a lot, maybe he did so well at the end of the season because no one had that much tape of him in the 49ers system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And we see this all the time. Rookie quarterbacks, actually rookies full stop, sometimes come in and have a good season, start off their career, and then they have a slump in their second season because people find them out. That could happen, and that could give Sam Darnold an opportunity to step in. And yeah, like I said, I think if he does get that opportunity, this is his best opportunity to show what all that talent was that we thought there was there in whatever year it was he was drafted, 2019, 2018?
2018.
Yeah.
And also, Trent Williams is the best Ghostbuster going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I was just looking, how much of your line is still around because McGlinchey went and all that, but actually it's still pretty good. And yeah, Trent Williams as a left tackle is pretty. It's gonna help, but I mean the thing is as well. Purdy last year could have been playing because he's a new bloke in a system. Was probably playing a restricted game plan.
Yeah.
Now Shanahan can turn up the dials, and he may just be an absolute fucking beast. And we're in 10 years. We're watching the Brock Purdy film before the Super Bowl.
I mean, he's always going to draw comparisons to Tom Brady based on where they were drafted. Both very low draft in terms of where they were drafted, and they've been given an opportunity down to injury. It's almost like rewriting that Tom Brady script. Now, whether he goes on to have that career, God, I hope so, but,
Yeah.
I mean, well, let's be fair. If he wins one Super Bowl, we're watching the film Relevant with some kid in the Disney Channel right now, aren't we?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Exactly that. You've even named it. Yeah. Well done. Yeah, that is it.
Copyright that.
Just, can we note the time and date of this
Yeah.
for legal purposes?
I mean, we're recording it.
Yeah. It's the 31st of August. It's currently 10 to 9. Paul has just come up with the title, Relevant.
The story of Brock Purdy.
We're not going to write it because there's a writer's strike, but...
I'm non-union.
All right then. Yeah, Disney will fucking love you.
Yeah.
When I get Brock Purdy himself to star in it with AI, it's going to be great.
Yeah. And it could be fine. It could, I still would like to see the 49ers with Shanahan, with a star quarterback. I'd like to see them take that jump, but, it won't be this season, but we'll see. What about for Dallas? Because is Dak now looking at this, the difference between Trey Lance behind you and, Cooper Rush and Garrett Gilbert and
Will Greer.
Ben DiNucci.
Will Greer, I know it's pre-season, but he looks fantastic.
It was the Raiders, wasn't it?
Okay, it's pre-season against the Raiders, but that's their first team.
Yes.
I think this is good for Dallas because Dak's injury record over the last 3 years is pretty bad. I mean, at one point his ankle was facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
He had a bad season last year.
He wasn't.
Based on compared to his previous season, he threw a lot of interceptions. Now, Trey Lance is probably not going to fix that.
No.
This is a Zeke-less Dak, which we've never seen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So that makes
But
it interesting.
He does have his O-line back.
But he still
And he's
had...
got Brandon Cooks.
Well, yeah. That's 1,000 yards, isn't it? And CD Lamb's getting better and better.
Well,
Trey Lance is going to love throwing to them.
I mean, any quarterback should love throwing to CD Lamb. He's an absolute star.
I mean, and Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks is cooked. He's done.
What are you on about? What have you been smoking? The guy gets 1,000-yard seasons with crack.
Yeah.
And good players as well.
Yeah, no.
Just looking at Prescott's contract, and he's going to get... you'd think I was just looking at it, it's right in front of me. I'm trying to read it. The yearly cash is $34 million this year. And then they could technically get rid of him, but it'd be $36 million dead cap in 2025. Nothing very little after that. So
I suppose teams have survived.
Yeah.
Drew Brees was dead cap of a ridiculous amount for the Saints, wasn't he?
Well, do you remember when the Falcons traded Matt Ryan and it was like 90 million on the cap?
Yeah.
You know,
they make ways, but
it's all false. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It's not real money.
But yeah, like it's a 4th round pick for them. Yeah, I mean,
I still think they kind of overpaid.
I don't. To get who was the 3rd overall pick within the last 3 years for a 4th is...
Given the situation and knowing that the 49ers didn't want him, basically.
But because of their situation.
Yeah.
If Brock Purdy wasn't there, they'd be forced into playing him this season.
Yeah, exactly.
as well, I mean, people go into, like, when you watch the draft, it gets to the 4th round. Even in the 3rd round, they're just trading picks because, you know, why not? A 4th round pick means fuck all. It literally really isn't much.
Kirk Cousins will disagree with you.
Well, that's fine. I will fight Kirk Cousins. No, but like,
I don't know. He looks meaner this season, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's handled by moustache.
With his Hogan tash.
Yeah.
I've not seen this.
It's.
He's looked great on the sidelines.
It's called the Kirk stash.
I think the first game of preseason, he spent the whole time on the sidelines in his helmet.
Yeah, full kit. Wasn't going to play,
but not pads. Yeah. So it's just a weird
full kit wanker.
But yeah, it's a 4th round. It means nothing. Like literally, you can read something into it. But how many?
Oh, is he trying to do an Aaron Rodgers there?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like it.
But yeah, so that's. We'll I'm sure we'll come to Trey Lance again over the season if he ever turns up.
As soon as Dak Prescott has a bad game,
yes,
people are going to be talking about.
I think this is the difference, and this is where it's good for Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, and the garage room that Mike McCarthy has with him. In terms of, there's now pressure.
Yeah.
Because if Dak has a bad game, there wasn't gonna be the Ben DiNucci fan club putting pressure.
It's just your Will Greer fan club for a while.
Will Greer.
He doesn't return my letters anymore. He thinks I won't find him in Cincinnati. I will.
This is a full Stan sort of situation. If I go out but Will Greer's in your fucking boots. Just here. No!
It doesn't work when it's the Junction 15A bridge, does it?
But yeah, we'll come back to Trey Lance, I'm sure, over the season. Other trade news. And it's news because there was no trade. Jonathan Taylor is still with the Colts. He's on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, so he can't play for the first 4 weeks because, in quote marks, his leg hurts. He's fine.
I didn't realise your ego was in your leg.
His agent hurts.
Yeah. So a couple of teams apparently were interested. The Colts wanted Jalen Waddle in return for Taylor.
You can still hear the Miami GM laughing if you go outside at night.
Yeah.
Look, I think
if Taylor is that important to you, which, you know, he should be, then, yeah, you go, I want your second best wide receiver. But it also discounts the fact that Taylor has a year left to go on a very cheap contract.
I was about to say, if you think Jonathan Taylor is worth Jalen Waddle, and I think on talent-wise, potentially, then you need to pay Jonathan Taylor if you can't get Jalen Waddle.
Well, this is it. If the Colts are doing this, it's surely just manner of heaven for the agent going, well, pay him like you would a wide receiver too then.
I do like Chris Ballard come out and says the situation sucks. It's your situation.
But I mean, that's a fair point. Do you think it is Chris Ballard's situation, or do we think that Jim Irsay is having... Because Irsay does tend to have quite a big influence over what happens in football operations in that club. Feels like for me, it feels like Indianapolis is in a bit of a mess right now.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But I blame the GM when they've got three wideouts on their depth chart. They've they're focused on anything other than building a team.
Has Jim been back in the liquor cabinet again? Because it's this whole team's been very strangely put together, and I guess this situation does suck because without Jonathan Taylor, they have Zach Moss,
who's being listed as questionable at the moment.
Dion Jackson.
I've listed Zach Moss as questionable since he entered the league.
and Evan Hull.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a 5th round pick in the 2023 NFL draft. So he means nothing because it's, whatever.
Running back to a penny.
Exactly. Yeah. It's.
You are not giving Anthony Richardson a fair start here. I know there's, like I said earlier, that we're going to lean on the fact that he's got no experience, but he's got nothing around him.
He's got the most expensive line, though.
Yeah, and you'd hope that expensive line performs much better than it did last year. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson is going to be great for another team in 4 years' time.
I didn't want to mention him the other day as well because you were having a bad day with Will Greer being cut. But I was like, it's fine.
No, he's made it onto another team.
Yes, so it's fine.
So I stopped crying.
But Jelani Woods, I was like, I won't mention him because he's only a 2-year, he's only in his second year.
It's only a 2-year love affection.
So yeah. But he won't get dropped, and he won't. But he will get injured. He's on injured reserve, and you're like, actually, that was probably one of your most talented pass catchers there, especially for a young quarterback. You're like, oh shit, yeah, the whole Colts situation sucks.
Down to Kylan Granson and Mo Ali Cox, who's somehow the new Mercedes Lewis. Just always there.
It was like the cockroach and the nuclear holocaust.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This used to be a good team.
Yeah.
This was a playoff team. Like when Matt Ryan joined this team 2 years ago, people thought, Matt Ryan joining, this gives them a real chance.
Well,
Philip Rivers took them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. The bloke your dog's named after.
I will literally never forgive you for that.
That future Hall of Fame. But, I mean, I know Andrew Luck quitting a week before the season started fucking sucked. But, Jake Biscuits came in and they were fine. Rivers came in. He did, it was a year. It helped, get him some, further juice for that Hall of Fame jacket. But, yeah, literally, you can look at the team, compare the two teams. There's not much difference. It's basically...
maybe that's the problem.
Is that? I think it is. Is it
They've all
stale?
got older, and actually, who they've drafted, the younger people they brought in, aren't any better.
Yeah.
And anybody who had an ounce of quality this season, you got rid of. Rocky Sin was okay. Got rid of him.
Yeah. I mean,
at one point, Shaquille Leonard, we were saying he's going to be one of the greatest linebackers.
Yeah.
In the game, and for a season or two, he was, and he's just been.
I mean, Bobby Okereke.
Yeah.
Bobby Okereke. That guy.
Bobby. Yeah.
They got DeForest Buckner.
They have.
Yeah.
They've got some great players. But yeah,
But
like,
just sign an offense.
yeah. They're like a shitter Cowboys. It's like there's a lot of they've got a great line. There's some talent on the defense, but they've forgotten to do anything with wide receiver. I mean, even to the point where last season the Cowboys had T.Y. Hilton. Like, they're just a shittier version of them.
My one hope for them is that their new head coach Sean Steichen does do well by them. He's got a great history in developing quarterbacks. He helped develop Justin Herbert. Obviously, kind of what's his face at the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. That's one. Yeah. But both, I mean, this is again coming back to that topic. Both those quarterbacks were experienced quarterbacks in the college game and were winners.
Oh, Jalen Hurts, you don't play for Alabama and Oklahoma if you're a bad quarterback.
Yeah, final season at Oklahoma has 70% completion rate. Anthony Richardson was 58%.
But it seems every counter argument for Anthony Richardson is just look at the guy.
Yeah, I know, and like everyone compares him to like slightly bigger, faster Cam Newton, and that's great. But Cam Newton could throw the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the arguments with Trey Lance and also Malik Willis as well were these guys aren't very accurate. And I know it was an argument with Josh Allen as well, and he went on to disprove that theory. But accuracy and the amount of games that they play in college, for me, that those are two key facets. And look, Anthony Richardson, he's got a massive high ceiling, but he's got a really low floor.
Yeah.
I think they need to give him time because, like, you got to remember, Josh Allen's great, but Josh Allen joined a shonky Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah. But, and I hope, I think Steichen will be given time. And hopefully Richardson will be given time. But
you're forgetting the one variable here of Jim Irsay.
Well, he's
if there were
almost up there with the Haslams.
Yeah, if it was a sensible team, they would.
Yeah.
Who knows? And yeah, we'll see. I don't see Taylor ending the season as a Colt.
No.
But
I can see him going for a third-round pick.
I'll get desperate.
Yeah. And he needs to play this year because I think otherwise, because if he doesn't get his
year's void, isn't it? And
year's void, and he has to stay another year. So he needs to. He will eventually appear, and then I'm sure get traded. In trades that did happen, Isaiah Simmons was traded to the Giants for a 7th-round pick.
I still can't believe that.
I'm in shock of that.
I was on holiday with the wife. I had a kid-free holiday with the wife, and that was the happiest part of it. I had a really good time. I could not believe we got the 9th overall pick for a 7th rounder.
Yeah, well, you can just throw that away anyway.
But
I mean, it's a throwaway pick.
A defensive back who can play literally anywhere.
Linebacker / defensive back / but
They've even with the Giants. They said they could play him at DE.
Yeah, no, you could. He was coming out of college. He was incredibly talented.
He's gone into a bad situation, a bad team.
Yeah,
I think he's a sort of player I think Wink Martindale will love, and if he can train him, great. Like that, it just added another playmaker to the Giants, and I'm very happy.
I love it for the Giants.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And every time the Giants have won something, they've had a disgusting defense.
Yeah. They've had, I know Griff was down on the defense last week, but I think they've added some good players.
That's just Griff, though. He's negative about everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the Giants. I don't know why a Pats fan would have a problem with the Giants. Wonder why.
Beats me.
Albert O. I can't say his name.
I'm not going to say it.
No,
that fella.
He's gone to the Eagles.
Tight end at the Broncos is now the tight end at the Eagles.
Yeah.
Don't hate it.
Don't hate it. It's just, they tend to do quite well with their tight ends. So
they got Dallas Goedert and now Albert O.
Yeah, I like Albert O. I think he's very underrated, but he's just never.
He's one of those players that you always, in fantasy, you always draft him quite high, thinking, oh yeah, he could be quite good, and he wasn't that great. Didn't score that many points.
That's it.
But
yeah. No, in a good situation there.
Yeah.
Kicker news.
Finally, what we all listened for.
So much kicker news.
Yeah. So the Broncos have traded for Will Lutz. The Broncos have had a very strange off-season. So they've got him. Obviously, they bought in Peyton. Peyton then went on the offensive, slagging off Nathaniel Hackett, which was the best part of the off-season for me.
Basically said what we all thought.
Yeah. we all knew.
Yeah.
But he was one of the few people who has the equity built up within the league to pretty much slag off anyone and get away with it.
Yeah.
If he was this interesting when he was on the fucking TV, he wouldn't be back on the thing. He was useless as an analyst. But yeah, they bought him McGlinchey for a big contract, who's been injured. You know, but yeah. So they've got Will Lutz. Actually, I think Will Lutz is pretty good
I
kicker.
always like him.
Yeah,
And if I was a
Solid.
kicker, I'd want to go to Denver.
Yeah. You can kick miles.
yeah, yeah.
Justin Tucker in Denver would be terrifying.
He'd be a first pick, wouldn't he?
He might well be.
We'll do some fantasy news. So Browns, they released Cade York, who was
That's why you draft a kicker.
who was the cock of the walk at the start of the season last year, and then you look into his stats, and actually he didn't finish the season very well. So he's gone. Former fourth-round pick. Just why did I pick kickers, but anything in the first seemed 5 rounds, it seems.
You've got to be pretty sure that the kicker is
Yeah.
going to be pretty good.
Yeah,
To
and give them the
any
time.
draft pick, really. Yeah.
It's unfortunate the teams that do take the kickers early are generally bad teams. So yeah,
Well, they do well elsewhere. So like Daniel Carlson went to the Vikings, didn't he?
yeah,
And he's done well at the Raiders.
yeah,
You've got Young Hae Koo.
yeah.
That-
He was
Falcons, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was drafted by the
out Falcons.
Chargers.
Sorry, out the Falcons, yeah.
He was drafted by the Chargers.
yeah. Well, the Browns traded for Dustin Hopkins from the Chargers, and I'm sure Hopkins is very pleased to get out of Los Angeles because the Chargers is where kickers go to die.
Yeah. Why do you bring in a Chargers special teams player? Because they are traditionally
Bad.
Yeah.
I get the feeling it's like Chelsea goalkeepers nowadays. Like ever since Czech, like good goalkeepers have gone to this team and they've all started performing badly. And you have to ask, is it luck or is it
No, Luck
just
retired.
is it coaching? Is it the
Nice.
situation? Thank you. But yeah, I think sometimes when it becomes a trend, you have to look within yourselves. And
If they looked within themselves, Brandon Staley wouldn't be their head coach.
well, possibly. But yeah,
Hey, you mentioned Daniel Carlson, the kicker. His brother's now the kicker for the Green Bay Packers.
yes.
Anders Carlson, who was drafted this year in the 6th round.
Mason Crosby retire.
I don't know.
No, Mason Crosby's gone somewhere else.
The New York Jets.
Oh no, he's a free agent, so he was just let go.
Basically, didn't have Aaron Rodgers in backing him again. So
Yeah.
they're like, we're going to get rid of him.
And how old is he as well? Like
Mason Crosby was
38. Didn't he have a couple? He occasionally just has bad games, doesn't he, Mason Crosby, where he misses.
4 field
missed
goals.
4 to 1.
He's solid for most of the season.
He's solid for
And then he'll have one game where he'll just completely shit the bed.
yeah. But yeah, it's I'm sure he's a kicker who's free. Eventually, he'll end up on the Chargers this year. And finally, Noah Igbinoghene,
Nice.
a former first rounder. He's gone to the Cowboys for Kelvin Joseph, who has gone to the Dolphins.
Straight swap. I
Straight
like
shot, yeah.
You don't see enough of
Don't see
those.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this has happened. Actually,
that. I remember at the time they drafted him in the 1st round and everyone was like, nope.
Yep. yeah. It's I'm trying to think back to when I've heard his name pronounced, and generally it's when he's been absolutely blown apart in coverage.
Yeah.
So, but if you're going to be anywhere, as a defender, you probably want to be on the Cowboys. So yeah, injuries. Ryan Jensen, the Bucs center, he's out for the season. It's his 2nd season out.
I've written in the notes. I think this is career ending.
Yeah, I think so. This
is his knee, right? And instead of getting surgery, he got injected with stem cells.
I mean, that just seems...
I kind of think, surgery is the way to go.
Yeah. These are big lads. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't... I mean, taking out all the moral argument, I'm not sure I'd trust a few stem cells to fix my knee if I was that big.
No. Yeah, he had stem cell from the umbilical cord of babies.
There has to be someone who did that first for it to be a known thing.
I'm sure. I'm sure there are examples where it's worked. Yeah. Are those examples 350-pound men who get pushed for a living?
I mean, I remember Robin van Persie had horse placenta rubbed on his knee.
As well.
Yeah. I don't. Just get surgery, man.
Yeah.
Get it fixed. You're a big guy.
Exactly.
And you need your knee.
And only 32, but over 30. These, it's a lot of strain. Just take the surgery, mate. He has restructured his contract so that they can try and replace him effectively.
It's the least he could do.
But yeah, no, it's.
I wonder if the team said to him, like when that decision was made about I'm going to go down this treatment route.
Yeah.
Did the team go?
You sure?
Do you want to maybe have a think about that? Maybe sleep on that overnight because we're about to pay you quite a lot of money, and you're quite important to the team.
He's not. I think he's on about 11 million a year.
Yeah, which isn't insignificant for a centre.
No. Well, he was the highest paid centre when he signed his contract.
I mean, he was the best centre in the league.
He was brilliant.
Oh, when they won the Super Bowl, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, for a position where you're constantly coming up off your knees to hit somebody head first at £350.
Yeah, I'd like to be in a fly on the wall when that discussion was had.
I mean, also, if you were making that game today and you tried to explain the centre to somebody for the first time, they wouldn't allow it.
Yes. Yeah.
No. Let's find a different way to do this.
Yeah. We'll use a machine or something. Yeah. Just put it on a table. The quarterback pick like kids when they pick up off a chair and then it doesn't work. But yeah. Anyway, so quickly go and cuts. So they had to finish your rosters, get down to your final 53. Any surprises? Because quite now there's a short man in Cornwall going, I was fucking surprised. So
should we start there then, shall we?
Yes. Bailey Zappe, Bailey Zapp, Bally Zappe, Bailey Zapp. He's been cut. He signed to the practice squad. He's still in New England, but
because no one else signed him off waivers.
Yeah. Well, they cut both their backup quarterbacks. Yep. The other one I can't remember.
He was a rookie, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I get the feeling, the way Bill was talking about him, I don't think he'll end up being a quarterback. I think he sees him as the new Edelman.
Right. Well, that worked once. It worked really, really well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it did work well.
Stop it.
Malik Cunningham. He.
Go and spend some time with your wife, Bill. You've been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
elsewhere.
They've literally only got Matt Jones on the depth chart now.
Yeah. Yeah. Their offense is it's Mac Jones, Zeke Ramondre Stevenson at running back.
To be fair, it's better than the Colts.
Oh yeah. Wide receivers: Kendrick Bourne, Devontae Parker, Matt Slater, Juju, and 2 rookies, and then Mike Gesicki and Hunter Henry at tight end.
I like that.
It's there's no depth.
No.
All the depth is in bizarrely for Bill. It's in the secondary. But that's where they've been brilliant for the last few years. It is there's just nothing, and
So
we knew this season was all going to be on Mac Jones anyway. So
the Chargers GM is trying to work out the maximum he can pay one of the cornerbacks. I don't even need to know his name. Just give me one of them.
You could probably guess one of them's Jones, because I think they've got 4 Joneses, or 3 Joneses. Just look, 3 Joneses. So yeah. Elsewhere,
You've got a 1 in 13 chance.
yeah. Other quarterback news. Colt McCoy, along with most of the Cardinals squad, he's gone. So they are left with Clayton Tune, Joshua Dobbs, and 3/4 of Kyler Murray.
Who's not going to be playing? So
I literally don't see him ending the season there. The Saints,
they have to financially.
I think he'll end the season there, but I don't think he's going to be the quarterback next season.
yeah,
Because
go to New England, become a wide receiver.
yeah.
Caleb Williams is going to be awful there.
Yeah, but we all agreed that they're getting the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And that Caleb Williams is the undisputed number 1
I
pick.
think you're forgetting the Texans here.
No, they've traded their number 1, their first round pick
Yeah,
to the
to
Cardinals.
the Cardinals. The Cardinals have
Jesus.
got a really good chance of having the first and second pick.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, that would be so Texans, wouldn't it?
They could literally draft Caleb Williams and then Marvin Harrison, who is an epic wide receiver. Marvin Harrison Jr., epic wide receiver at Ohio State. And he'd be like,
That'd be great.
that's pretty fucking awesome.
That's cool.
If I was a Cardinals fan, I'd be like, oh, I see what you're doing here.
The other 51 players were stacking
Yeah.
shelves 2 weeks ago. Enjoy yourself. Hope you guys can carry a team.
How can you say you're tanking without saying you're tanking?
Well, you hire that fucking space
Jonathan
cadet,
Gannon.
Jonathan Gannon. Boo, 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 boo. Still my favorite clip.
I mean, that's not tanking. That's being the Panzer Division. That's Jesus. That's amazing.
Yeah, they it's going to be fun watching them this year. Will they be worse than that Miami team like about 3 or 4 years ago? Tank for Tua.
But they were good.
But then
And
we're
then
good
they
by
sacked the coach.
they were good by the end. Elsewhere, the Giants got rid of Jamison Crowder and have allowed Cole Beasley to work on his rap album from the practice squad. Saints cut Bradley Roby.
I thought that was a surprise.
Yeah,
I thought he was decent.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get. If he's not already been picked up, I'm sure he'll get picked up.
Yeah. I'd say he probably already, someone would have gotten it. Like, cornerback depth. I'm surprised he's not in New England.
Yeah. He's currently free agent. But yeah.
No, but Bradley Jones has just signed for them.
His agent's like, just change your name to Jones. Why? Just
Do
do it. Hey, Bill, got a new cornerback for you.
And of course, other players, Melvin Gordon, who's I think his role in undermining the running back position can't be underestimated. I think he's a good player.
Ravens. He went to the Ravens, right?
They went to the Broncos.
No, he was at the Broncos, but then
He went to the Ravens.
this year he was at the Ravens. I don't get that because he was a decent player, and the Ravens always got trouble about keeping their running backs fit.
Yeah.
Just sign as many as you can.
It was basically, I think the contract he had was so easy to get out of. Yeah.
It's all right, they've still got Gus Edwards.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they've already got injury-prone running backs. I think he's made his way onto the practice squad anyway, so he will appear. Other than that, I mean, I feel for Kendall Hinton, who's a wide receiver at Denver, who's been let go, despite the fact that all their other wide receivers are injured. So yeah, we'll just see how that one pans out. But there you go. Apparently, the Saints were generating trade interest in Roby but
Sorry, just to cut him.
just decided to cut him. The trading by so they've saved like $3 million.
They're the Andre Hopkins, they call it.
Yeah, but yeah. And should we mention Chris Jones and Nick Bosa? So they're both awaiting new deals. They're away from the team. So
yeah, they both set out camp.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
No.
I'm fine.
I mean,
We're giving Nick Bosa a longer rest.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I also
They'll
think they'll get paid.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, they're not the type of players you don't pay. These are blue chip. They're the players you build your defense around.
He was D-Roy, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah, he was. Sorry, I really had to think what that was.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa is the current reigning D-Roy. Who say he won't be the D-Roy next year as well.
No, Depoy.
He was Defensive Rookie of the Year.
And I think, but was he Defensive Player of the Year?
He was Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Well, yeah,
Depoy.
Depoy.
Well, he was D-Roy
He was
and
a D-Roy.
D-Boy.
He wasn't a rookie last year.
Yeah.
He's a very talented, award-winning defensive end.
He's fucking good.
He's brilliant.
There's many ways you can word it.
Yeah.
And Chris Jones, pretty fucking good.
Pretty fucking amazing, yeah.
They'll get deals. It's
absolutely
just
will.
posturing. And actually, yeah, as I say, I don't mind. If I was a 49ers or Chiefs fan, I wouldn't mind my blue chippers having a bit of extra time off.
Yeah. You know they're going to come back and still be good.
Yeah. We'll come back. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and we're going to let Paul loose for a bit, it seems. So that'll be fun. Okay, welcome back. How was your break, guys?
Not very nice.
Now, someone here farted like an absolute fucking wrong, and it was me. Apologies.
Turned my living room into a septic tank.
Yeah.
A sauna of badness. We should probably mention, because we forgot in the first half, TJ Hockensen signed a new deal. He is now basically, is it per year, the best, highest paid tight end?
Average per year. He's now the highest paid tight end. It's a 4-year contract extension. It's going to pay him at least $66 million, and it could go up to $68.5 million. Annual value of the deal is $17.125 million.
I mean, good for him. I think that's a little high, but
Would you put him in the ranks of Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews?
No.
I would have him. I think he's below Kelsey, below Andrews. Kittle for last couple of years has been up and down, but I think part of that's because of the system that they're playing. Yeah. He was very, very good at the end of last season, but yeah, that is a lot of money now. And
let's not forget they've got a wide receiver they need to pay.
Yeah, yes, I think that cap space will be cleared by the removal of a
quarterback.
A quarterback, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, we should mention that TJ Hockensen and just breaking the Pats have signed Matt Corral.
Yeah.
Who was let go by
The Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Was he signed last year? I can't remember.
He was drafted by the Panthers.
Yeah. So
in that glorious Matt Rule period.
Yeah, exactly. No Zappe, but okay.
They've still
for
got
Corral.
Zappe.
Oh yeah, in the past.
I'm not letting you get away with an OK Corral joke.
Sorry. Well,
you really tries to thumb it in there as well, doesn't he?
I know.
I do the shit puns here. All right.
So, Paul.
Hello.
For the last couple of years, we've known you've had a passing interest in the crime statistics of NFL players, but we haven't had the chance for you to really exploit that knowledge. So, this is your time.
So,
the bad men are away in Cornwall. So, whilst they're here, they're away, the children will play. So, Paul, we want you to talk us through your crime rundown.
So what I wanted to do was just let you know some of the recent arrests that have happened in this off-season. But then I wanted to have a bit of fun in terms of, whilst they're away, let's have some fun.
We do this for fun.
I have been for years.
Yeah.
You guys have been talking stats. I've just been sending women photos. I've just been emailing Will Query.
Will, I'm still writing, but you ain't.
Will, you're the hero of our podcast.
I've been writing, but you still ain't throwing.
I left my name, number, and my Twitter handle at the bottom. Go on. Anyway,
It's so in terms of recent arrests, we have Jimmy Graham.
oh yeah,
So he was arrested he was found wandering in traffic in Newport Beach. So the fact why wasn't this more reported on?
Yeah, because that's not ended well for a lot of some players in the NFL.
yes,
Yeah, so the well-known tight end and a guy who's gone back to New Orleans.
Has made the roster as well. He wasn't cut.
Yeah, wasn't cut, despite being arrested for being under the influence of narcotics and found wandering in traffic.
I mean, I know, but we'll mention the other person that was like, I think, aren't the family of Dwayne Haskins suing somebody now? Aren't they going through like legal practice because they reckon that someone basically drugged him?
Yes.
So yeah, which is absolutely fucking awful. But yeah, anyway.
So the other arrest that we've had in this off-season, we've had Jordan Addison, who's the first-round wideout, who was arrested, accused of driving 140 miles an hour through St. Paul, Minnesota.
Again,
Yes.
something that's not ended well for some NFL players.
Yes.
A first-round wideout driving at 140 miles an hour. I mean, the rookie school probably would have given the example.
Yes.
Now, here's the best part. Driving at 140 miles an hour, how much was he fined? Have a guess.
Am I going to be angry?
I kind of feel like we are. I'm going to say $150.
It's more than that, but it's still for a guy who's probably, like you saw
millionaire.
you saw Zay Flowers talk about his $7 million signing bonus.
Yeah, OBJ fated.
Yeah.
$5,000.
$686.
Fuck's sake.
So I was closer.
So we then have Sam Williams, who's a defensive end, second-round draft pick for the Cowboys. His second arrest. He's got half the amount of arrests as he does sacks since he's joined the NFL. He was accused of THC possession and unlawfully carrying a weapon.
Okay.
So,
I mean, how do you do that in the US these days?
Basically, and a lot of the time, you have to do it through an airport. You have to be like really fucking stupid.
Like Olden Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
the next one that I had for you was a cornerback called Jones from New England.
Which one of them?
Jack Jones,
Yep.
who had 2 firearms in his luggage as he was going through Boston Airport.
Yes.
I remember this, yeah.
I remember this, yeah.
So,
How fucking stupid do you have to be? But anyway.
well, it's interesting you say that. So, what I wanted to do was I wanted to play a game in how stupid have NFL players been. So,
Can I win just by saying very?
oh no, I mean, these are great. Well, I hope you agree with me that they're great. So, I'm going to just give you a player in a year, and I just want you to have a guess as to what they were arrested for.
Right.
And if you get it, I'll give you £1 each.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right.
The winner of this will win an undetermined prize.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I feel like we should have some music there.
I mean, I do pay all my bets here as well.
Yeah.
It's been noted. So
Yeah.
you do have the opportunity to win.
Have you had any bets for next season yet?
We might do that for the next.
Yeah.
If we meet next week, might do some bets.
It'll be good because I can't wait to give 20 quid to people on the Super Bowl night. So we have Ontario Smith, who was a running back for the Vikings, arrested in 2005. Can you guess what Ontario Smith was arrested for in 2005?
Was he part of the boat?
No.
Okay.
But it was later.
The boat was later.
Okay.
He was arrested for snorting cocaine off of a hooker's chest in a public place.
It's a good guess. Okay, we've got drug use in public place. John?
And prostitution.
Almost.
Um,
It's just as mad.
Is it Zay Jones mad?
It's more freaky than
more freaky.
It's more freaky than covered in blood, naked, fighting your brother.
Drunk in a graveyard.
Okay, so we have detained at Minneapolis St. Paul Airport with containers of dried urine and a device which allowed you to turn dried urine into liquid urine that'll help you pass a drugs test.
Of course, yes.
Well, you learn something every day.
Yeah.
I did not know you could buy freeze-dried urine.
I didn't know you could do that either. I thought urine was in the state it emerges. Yeah.
So that got him suspended for the season and then released. Who'd have thought it? So we have no points each so far.
Shock.
Okay. Your pound is safe.
I'm now going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to ask you to give me a Hall of Famer. So I'm going to tell you the crime, but I am going to ask you to name the player. Making an illegal U-turn, a policewoman stood in front of the car. Instead of stopping, bumped the policewoman with his car while making an illegal U-turn, knocking her to the ground.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. A Hall of Famer within the last 5 years.
Oh shit.
Who's fucking stupid? Last 5 years.
You see, if it was stupid, I
mean, it's pretty stupid.
It's a stupid, but I don't think
Hitting a policewoman with your car.
Yeah, I think it's a stupid act, but I don't know. Like, if we know them for being stupid? It's not like Antonio Brown.
They're not known for their intelligence.
Oh,
Joe Thomas.
Okay.
Ed Reed.
It's Randy Moss.
Of course.
It's Randy Moss who knocked a policewoman down with his car. Okay, so we have no points and no points. It's going well. In the next round of I'm going to give you the crime, can you give me the player? They were arrested for being found shirtless and wet trying to break into cars.
This does sound like an Antonio Brown kind of thing.
Yeah.
They were a special teams player.
Oh, my word.
Special teams player.
Devin Hester.
You've got Devin Hester. John, who are you going to go for?
Oh, shit. Jacoby Jones.
It is the multi-millionaire podcast extraordinaire, Pat McAfee.
No, you see, I can see that. Yeah.
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 So we then have in 2008, we're going to go to how we did originally. We've got an offensive lineman for the Patriots, Kenyatta Jones. 2008. Kenyatta Jones, offensive lineman for the Patriots. What was Kenyatta Jones arrested for?
Kenyatta Jones was arrested for
Smuggling fireworks from Mexico.
Okay, we've got smuggling fireworks from Mexico.
My head just can't get out of the urine.
Yeah,
area
I know. It's really.
after that.
It's
I
really
know.
I'm sure. How do we up that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. It's not that criminal as you've gone to there.
Defecating in a public library.
I'm going to give you a point for being because
I know where Paul's head is.
because I'm going to give you a point because you're the closest anyone's been so far. So in 2008, Kenyatta Jones was in a Tampa Bay nightclub and was pissing on the dance floor.
I was going to say pissing, but I thought you did the urine thing the last run.
So he pissed on the dance floor and then resisted arrest and tried to beat up the officer arresting him for pissing on the dance floor.
So this brings me to a story I can tell because it's no one. I was in a nightclub in Essex.
This is going to be a good story.
Time and Envy, I think it's called in Romford.
Time and Envy was any club in the country in about 2008.
It was like a chain nightclub. And there was some hubbub at the bar. And you're like, oh, what's going on there? Turns out it was a famous person. It was John Terry.
Also, an actual famous
An
person.
actual very
Not
famous
like
person. Oh, yeah.
Not like the only way is Essex famous.
No, very famous. He's been arrested for
Numerous things.
taking the piss out of Americans on the 10th of September, whilst drunk in a bar at Heathrow. He's famous at this point.
That's the 12th of September, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. 12th.
Either way, it was the wrong day.
The Nostradamus of terrorism, John.
Right, he's a famous. He's playing for Chelsea. He's stood on the bar, whipped his cock out, and started pissing on it.
Skills.
He's a very, very, very scumbag. Anyway, but yes. There you go.
So we have a dance floor pisser.
Yes.
There. I'm going to go for 9.
Pissing on the dance floor.
You better not make a move.
You better not drop a poo.
Anyway.
I'm going to give you Eugene Robinson. Eugene Robinson, earlier that day, had been given the Bart Starr Award for his high moral character. Earlier that day. Won the Bart Starr Award for his high moral character. What was Eugene Robinson, the high moral character winner of the Bart Starr Award, arrested for in 1998?
He was getting a blowjob off a hooker on his tow truck. Because all Americans have tow trucks.
Okay.
He was in his truck doing donuts in a JCPenney's parking lot whilst high on drugs.
So
It's very specific.
Yeah.
after winning the Bart Starr Award for his high moral character,
So that's why I went prostitution again.
Yeah. I think.
and I'm going to give Jim the point, because he was arrested for paying an undercover police officer to do sexual acts to him.
But how else are you going to celebrate getting a high moral award?
Exactly.
You've got a 14-2 season. You've gone to the Super Bowl. Let's celebrate.
Let's get some strange.
Let me pay that policewoman to do me. So the next one I'm going to give you, I loved it so much, and obviously you guys know me well. You'll know why I liked it.
No, shit.
This is a poo
It's
story.
going to be a poo story.
Yeah.
Naja Davenport, whilst in college, was arrested. He was given the nicknames Dookie and the Dump Truck when he was in the NFL. But why was he given the names Dookie and the Dump Truck?
He consistently shit himself on the pitch.
Could he shit himself on command?
No.
Okay.
But if you do watch the, forgive me, I can't remember the name of it, but where they interview 3 players of the team who won the Super Bowl,
America's Game.
America's Game.
Oh, right, yeah.
The Washington Redskins in '91. Mark Schlereth.
Yeah.
The part where he's talking about pissing himself on the line is hilarious. So, Naja Davenport, whilst he was in college at Barry University, broke into a woman's room and shat in her laundry basket.
It's not funny.
It's not.
It's quite funny. Yeah.
Because
Why would you do that?
Did he know the woman?
I don't know. I haven't got that detail.
In some ways, you kind of hope you do, because I hope there was a reason for
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
other than just, right, break in someone's dorm, gonna shit in
Yeah.
their laundry basket. That'll teach them.
Yeah.
Who do you do it to? I don't know,
Yes. Someone.
someone.
But there's no way where that's a reciprocal action. Like, oh, she threw a drink over me at the club. I'll break into her house and shit in her laundry basket.
That'll learn her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serves you right.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
my favourite, I'm never going to get the opportunity to talk about this again. And I think it's the best story in the history of the NFL. You are a wideout who caught the Super Bowl winning touchdown. You play for the Giants. You've caught the touchdown that stopped the New England Patriots becoming the first undefeated team since the Dolphins. It's an amazing story. The Giants should never have won that game. How do you celebrate? You shoot yourself in the leg at a nightclub.
Mexico.
A man who shot himself in the leg in a nightclub, and I cannot believe it led to the player's authority complaining it violated the NFL's collective bargaining agreement that he didn't get his signing bonus. Sorry, his bonuses for that season. So a guy who shot himself in the leg didn't play and still got $1 million bonus.
That's what Brian Robinson got.
Yeah.
And do you know why? Because he was wearing sweatpants in the club and they started falling down. Reached for his sweatpants, shot himself in the leg. So, over the course of the season, I'll go back and make sure we have a look at the rest. Obviously, some of them aren't going to be shitting in a woman's laundry.
Oh, no, I've enjoyed this. So, yeah, can you bring this back every so often? Cause
Yeah, I'll more than happily do so. So, at the end of that, we have Jim, who's the winner with £2.
yes.
Excellent.
John, you have £0.
That's...
I don't know what that says about me.
Yeah.
So
I think
John was thinking too far out the box. Jim just thought of hookers and piss and shit.
yeah.
And that's the way
I
forward.
knew where Paul's mind was.
Exactly. I think, yeah, I played the game, he played the player.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know.
I mean, you were thinking of things to get arrested for, not what hyped up millionaires would be doing with their spare
it's
time.
just shit, piss and booze and fucking.
It's a wonderful time. So
Cool.
yeah, that is the section on arrests I will do today.
Nice. I've got something here. Basically, just a few minutes. I just think I've got some. What don't you want to see in 2023? So, like, what's been going on the last few years? You think I've had enough of this, or can we just have less of this, please? So,
Roger Goodell.
beautiful. Like, just he either needs to just fuck off and leave us alone, or do stuff. Like, you can't just earn the money and then just show up for draft day in the Super Bowl. Like, when people are, being arrested and, I did look at it the other day. There's how many domestic violence arrests have there been since the year 2000 of active NFL players?
For a man who's been researching arrests, I'm not the right person to ask.
It's 141.
I was going to say, but it goes into hundreds.
141 since year 2000.
Wow.
These sort of things, earn your pay. So yes, I'll accept Roger Goodell.
Problem is, like, to be fair to him, he's done very well in terms of making the NFL billions and billions.
Yeah.
And the problem is that his contract gets renewed by the owners, who then make money off of the billions that he's done. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
until he fucks up financially, which I don't think he'll ever will, because he's a very shrewd businessman, he's going to probably be staying.
Yeah.
He does the PR machine well.
He's brilliant at it.
Yeah.
So I think also when you see like the stuff they've done this season for the NFL script reading coming out,
Yeah,
that's
excellent.
That's been brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
still not as brilliant as is it Foster on Pardon My Take, who's been pretending this for years. But yeah.
Yeah, I do think, like, the whole kind of legal side of the NFL, and I don't mean like the arresting, but when they kind of go into, is that within the kind of rights? Just have the rules, I think, written down. I think feels like they're too ambiguous. Players don't know where they stand, and they don't know what they'll be punished for and why. Make it an independent process. Put someone else in charge of it. Let them look after it.
But I mean,
So we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like this morning, Tyreek Hill isn't going to get in trouble for hitting some guy.
Yeah.
but this is where
Someone else will.
This is the problem, because you have to have some sort of difference, because God forbid Patrick Mahomes beats somebody up at a family farm or something like that.
And this is the point. And, I listen a lot to Pro Football Talk and Mike Flory. It's like, if they've got the talent, get away with it. Like, to your point, if Patrick Mahomes has done something, and the third string quarterback on the Colts roster, Shane Ellinger, as it happens, if he does something, they're going to get very different punishments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One will be cut and then probably punished, and the other will probably get a suspension.
Yeah.
But he'll be back in 5 games.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And I think you're right. You need to. I mean, also it's like the betting,
Yeah.
Yes.
because
Yeah, those, like,
there are more players than Calvin Ridley who've done that.
yeah, absolutely.
And I know you need to set examples and things like that, but I think if we're going in terms of what we don't want to see in 2023, I don't want to see the media fall in love with a new coach.
Yes.
Dan Campbell has delivered dick since he's come to Detroit.
He's turned Detroit Lions into a likable franchise. That's the thing.
So you're telling me the team who were tanking, who are suddenly building a roster of good players, are doing better? That's great. That's their GM. His mantra and everything else. Just get in the playoffs, then talk.
Yeah.
And you're going to see them fall. One, like, I never forget. I always forget his surname. The Dolphins head coach.
Gase. Bowles.
Mike McDaniels.
Daniel? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant...
Current one.
The current
one. Oh,
Mike
McDaniel.
McDaniels.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who was the offensive
Yeah.
for you guys. He's really good at media.
He's very good.
But Miami, he's a great head coach. He did really well. Miami didn't really do that much last season. I know you've got Tua and everything else, but
Playoffs.
it's this whole
They
like...
limped in, didn't they? But they were in a hard... They are in a hard
They had no
division.
quarterback.
Yeah.
But
partly because of his decisions.
Yeah, true.
and that's it. But they get to a point where some coaches become unsackable in the media, despite the fact they've delivered nothing.
Yeah, they become media darlings, don't they?
Yeah.
And I want to see less of that. I'd like to see teams just judged on their results, rather
Yes.
than the cult of personality that comes with certain head coaches.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to see less of.
I'm really bored of National Tight End Day.
That's still a thing.
It's still a thing. And as well, once it happens, they talk about it for fucking weeks. And you're like, it's like 4 weeks later, and they're like, oh, a late celebration of National Tight End Day. We're here. Irv Smith scores a touchdown. You're like, who gives a flying fuck? So, less of that, please. Why are refs still part-time?
That's, for me, that's ridiculous.
It's $1 billion
Yeah.
enterprise, this.
I'll tell you what, one thing that I'd like to see: mic the discussions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mic up the discussions. You see the rugby and you see the cricket. Understanding the decision they're making makes it more accessible.
And also in the Women's World Cup this year,
Yes.
where after VAR, your referee comes out, explains exactly what's happened, exactly what the punishment or the non-punishment is and why. I love it.
Do you know what you saw? No discourse about that being a problem.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you totally. The rest still being part time,
Yeah, that's just...
and for the multi-billion dollar enterprise has part time refs.
Yeah. They've been in it they've been part of the match day experience for years. Has anyone ever heard anything useful from a sideline reporter?
No.
I know they're just part of the colour, but
I
remember when Tyler Eifert broke his leg. His leg was broken in 2 or 3 places.
his ankle was facing the wrong way.
And the sideline reporter was, and he's left the pitch because of a suspected ankle injury. And you're like, yeah, fucking right.
It's always like... And look, the coaches are never going to tell them something decent on
Yeah.
their way into the locker room all the way back. They're always going to be very generic. If they're losing a game, it's like, yeah, we've got to do a few things better. And if they're winning a game, it's like, yeah, we've got to carry on doing what we're doing. And they always report that. It's like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got to stop Patrick Mahomes throwing all over us. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are never going to get anything decent out of a
Exactly,
coach.
yeah.
But
No.
this is where I say make them part of the scenery here. Make them wear pads. And the teams can earn an extra time out by taking them out. But make it something that could be won by a lottery. You know, like this week, the sideline reporter is Dave from Ohio.
Or like Quidditch. They've got...
The teams have to catch them at half time.
They're wearing something. They've got to snatch something off their head, which is on a helmet. And any player, they have to be a player, can't be a coach. Any player can chase the sideline reporter. But yeah, in return,
Yeah, because you want a 280-pound man who can run a 4.5 chasing some skinny little report. Yes, I do.
yes. But yeah, it's still whenever it comes to something like this is adding nothing to my day. Jim's brought up a good one of
This is ridiculous. limit the amount of captains you can have on a team.
I want 53 captains.
Right, the Giants have got 10.
A fifth of their squad are captains.
20% of their squad is a captain. It's meaningless.
Yeah.
Like, leaders and captains, I think, for me, those players should be looked up to, and they should be setting an example, and they're the ones that are the go-between between coaching and between the rest of the players. For me, that's in sport, that's a massively important thing. But when you've got 10...
Also, I could understand it if each one of them was a different position. I'm saying this as a Giants fan as well.
Yeah.
Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams are next to each other on the line. Who's the captain? We both are. Cool.
Who's making a decision on the pitch? Make the quarterback the captain. Make the defensive line, the linebackers usually, middle linebackers usually the one with the green dot on the back of their head that's getting the instructions. Make them the captain. And if you really want to have a special teams on, well, I don't know why you bother, have a special teams one.
I'm hoping every one of them is mic'd up.
Probably not enough mics.
No.
Darren Waller's the captain. He's been there 5 minutes.
Yeah, but to be fair, considering, we've had a tight end, I'm quite happy with that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Darren Waller. And
Big
Giants,
Waller fan. Think it's going to be good.
But yeah, it's like I said, it's excessive.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. And I just want to say something. Can we move on from the gritty? Like Justin Jefferson, I think, is the originator of it. He can keep it. I don't want to see offensive linemen doing the fucking gritty. I don't want to see, when Mac Jones did it in the Pro Bowl, great, you killed it. It's been going on.
No, Mike Gesicki killed it.
Yeah, but just let it be. His celebration. Everyone else, think of something new.
I still don't understand why players can't dunk over the crossbar anymore.
Yeah.
Like, who's that insulting? I enjoy it. I think it's great.
I think it's great. I think the insult, the taunting rules are bizarre.
But they're open to interpretation. I say, as long as you're not
in their face.
Yeah.
As long as you're not in their face or affecting the play. So if I can understand somebody running into the posts could affect the ability for the game to continue. Other than that, do whatever you want.
Yeah. Like,
Griff sent me a video the other day, actually, really, I can't remember, it might have been a Browns game, but it was coming towards the end of the game. Browns were in the lead, and the player thought he had sacked the quarterback, but as he was saying, he managed to get a pass off. But because he thought he sacked the quarterback, he'd taken his helmet off in celebration. That's a penalty. It's a defensive penalty they had to carry on. The Browns ended up losing the game. But just remind me of that.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
just so Browns, though, isn't it?
It is very Browns. Yeah. Speaking of which, watch Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
I've yet to watch it.
I watched it, and actually, as well, have you watched the
Swamp
Gators?
Kings?
Started watching it last night, actually. And I got 8 minutes in, I was like, I can't figure out why Urban Meyer didn't work in the NFL.
But it also leaves out a lot of the stuff that Paul's going to be really interested in, the crimes.
Because does it?
Yeah, it doesn't mention it. Like,
because that should be a massive part
huge.
of it.
One of them
killed a guy.
It's not mentioned, and it's. I think the Manziel one. I didn't enjoy it. I thought there was too much building up with Manziel, actually, which is the least interesting part.
Yeah.
And, it also didn't go into it enough. And it's partly because...
It was almost like observations. There was no, why was he like that?
Yeah.
And maybe that's because he was involved in it, and, that was the time. I was chatting to Griff last night about it, because we were chatting about it, and I was like, the thing that infuriated me is, what an incredible talent he actually was.
Yeah.
Genuinely a talented quarterback. And I can't get my head around how someone can have that much talent can just throw it all away.
Yeah.
Just you've got literally the world at your feet. You can make tens, if not hundreds of millions. And he said this himself, that happy to go to the Browns because he can be the face of the Browns and revitalise a franchise, and he just fucks it all up the wall.
Yeah.
And for me, I've got no respect for anyone that does that.
No, but also I think it's because he's involved in it as well. there's mental health issues. There's all these things
They
that
could have gone into that.
and they could. It was both too. I thought it was too much filler, but also it didn't go into enough. It could have been 2 or 3 episodes.
It was almost like, and then this happened, 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 and then this happened.
Make it a 3-parter.
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't really learn anything from it other than he's a dick.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary about Shaq, which was a 4-part. I know he's had a Hall of Fame career and everything else, but it was a 4-parter, and you felt like each part was covered in detail.
Yeah.
You don't have to make it an hour and a half.
What I do like is like Netflix do seem to be investing in sports programming.
Yeah.
And I think they've taken that kind of lead from Amazon Prime with the All or Nothing series, but they're doing it. They're going a different way around.
Yeah.
it.
I really liked the first series of the Untold stuff. This one, I thought it. They've picked some good stories. They've just mishandled them.
Yeah.
But it is good that
Quarterback's great.
is good.
Yeah.
They've got a second season, haven't they?
Yeah. I think is it
Did they
Jalen Hurts? I think it might be one of the quarterbacks. I can't remember.
I know Justin Fields refused.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good, because he's for what he is doing. I think he needs to concentrate more on it. I'm just looking.
I mean, they did very well getting Mahomes, who won the Super Bowl. It's a very different show if all 3 of them fail out before the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just mentioned the Hurts because Mariota is now, of course, backing up Hurts, so he might appear in season 2. But
I'd forgotten how much he just seemed to just check out of the Falcons as soon as he got made.
Yeah, well, he just absolutely fucked off, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I'm a big fan of it. But yeah, I think these ones they've got just slightly off.
I think also they've done very well, and this is where again Goodell and the machine do very well because F1 saw a massive bump in everything because of Drive to Survive.
Yeah, even though the actual sports got worse.
No, I mean essentially, if you just imagine Verstappen doesn't exist, F1 is thrilling.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, but they've all got it now. Like tennis has it, golf has it. The Tour de France one, like that's really good because you just see that they're absolutely like the most devoted, crazy athletes.
They are absolutely nuts.
How they survive, I don't know.
No, and you see some of the pictures like their legs after like a single stage of the Tour de France, and it's like that's just incredible. Like
I'd take drugs.
The feats they go to get that fitness, incredible.
No, it's incredible. But yeah, hopefully we'll see more of it. But I hope that the next ones are just slightly better. But yeah, we'll leave predictions because we might meet up before the season.
Can we do one prediction?
Yeah,
go on.
I'm going to do it off the fly, and it's not something we planned. One team you think will get in the playoffs that would surprise people?
Well, I think the Falcons.
I like the way you've just thrown this out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Broncos. Just so I know it'll piss Gary off.
But yeah, yourself?
The Lions.
Dicked all over Dan Campbell. You're like, the Lions.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would be such a surprise.
I don't think it would be. But with the North is the way it is.
Yeah, I'm saying the North way and the NFC the way it is as well.
I think the NFC's pretty donkey.
It is. You've got the Eagles and the 49ers.
Yeah. That's basically it.
There's plenty of other teams who could get in and surprise. For me, I think this is the season he's got to do it.
Oh, I think
so.
Oh,
yeah, he needs to.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. We'll leave it there. If you're drafting over the next few days,
which you should be.
You should be. If you've done it before now, then
I have in one league, and I was not very happy about it.
So yeah, I know we've got our auction one on Sunday. We've then got Dynasty and normal on Monday.
Yes,
I've got my work one on Tuesday. So I'm busy the next few days.
So auto draft in Dynasty sounds great.
No, we can't auto draft Dynasty. Please don't.
Guess which one John writes.
It's not that I want it. It's just I don't want anyone to auto draft. If you auto draft, I get to come around and fight in your living room again.
Yeah, Alan.
Yeah. No auto draft.
Poor Alan.
But yeah, enjoy. Okay, I'm gonna throw it out. If you got a number one pick, who would you go first?
Ooh.
McCaffrey.
Oh, that is really difficult.
It is. I think it's the hardest. Yeah, because
I like to screw things up, so I'll go for like Justin Jefferson.
I don't think that's. I think that.
That's not really screwing
I don't
things
think
up.
that's really. Yeah. I like to screw things up. I'm going
The best receiver.
Gabe Davis.
I screwed up Cole Beasley.
No, I think either of those two. Because normally I like Derrick Henry. I don't know. Nick Chubb. I don't know.
Nick Chubb, I think, is
Saquon.
criminally underrated.
He's criminally underrated. I just don't think.
Yeah.
I don't trust the quarterback and the system.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, of course, has signed his contract. We should mention. Yeah, there's a few running backs.
I think we could see a lot more quarterbacks going in the first round.
I think so.
Particularly Jalen Hurts.
Yes. I'd be ashamed if someone picked him before you.
I don't think people. I still think there'll be a run on running backs and wideouts in the first round. We've got in our
Kelsey will go in the first round, I'm sure, because I think someone will realise that actually he's a wide receiver in most leagues. But yeah,
I'm looking forward to picking up Mike Evans in the 5th round because I always seem to.
I think that'd be a great pickup. If so, I think he's due a good year. But yeah, enjoy your drafts, and we'll see you hopefully before the season. But if not, enjoy Lions Chiefs on Thursday and whatever else is on the Sunday. Yeah, enjoy. Have a good one. See you guys.